Yeah, I can just see it from here. So I'm in Scotland still, outside of Lennoxtown. And in these woods is an old castle, an abandoned castle, built in the 1800s. And then early 1900s, it became a psychiatric hospital. Now, one time, this hospital was noted for its forward-thinking approach with its care of its patients. But like a lot of other psychiatric hospitals, things went south, and decades later, it was really known for its overcrowding, neglect, mistreatment. It was finally shut down in 2002. Look at that. Look at the shield up there still, or whatever it is. Crest. Look at the faces. Just very recent, 2017, I read an article about a pauper's grave where a lot of these people were buried in mass. People who died here who had no family to claim them. This reminds me of Petra in Jordan. No, I've never been there, but that's just to me what it looks like. That color, just that impressive height. I don't know if these would have been rooms, but they're very, very small. And this is much newer too, like this would have been added on by the hospital. This is all just regular brick and mortar. Stairs. It's raining in the building. This place really peaked probably in the 1950s, 1960s, 1,500 patients. I'm assuming that was significant overcrowding because the place isn't that big. But definitely by the 1960s, questions came up as far as ethics, as far as the care that this place was providing. And then in 1993, after the Care in the Community Act, that's when things really started to change. They started to discharge patients here, but it would be another decade until this place closed down completely in 2002. Now, some people, looking back, have said they were here for years, and they don't even know why they were here. People were put in here for just being difficult, or maybe being a little slow. People that were definitely capable of living a normal life, but they were just thrown in here, maybe by their parents, maybe by the schools. Ages ranged from, children to seniors. I mean, 10 to 80 years old. and the longest recorded patient housed in this place, 60 years. I don't know what is holding these things up. Nothing. It's just cement. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, though. Wow. Wow, this just keeps going and going. Probably 6, 7, maybe 8 stories. The whole video is just gonna be stairs. You can't even walk up these fire escape stairs. There's nothing left. There's no steps left. It's just the metal framing and supports. So the concrete has outlasted the metal. I guess that makes sense in a country like Scotland. It rains a lot here. You can see the elevator. Now, aside from the atrocities that have been recorded happening here, physical abuse, being left alone for days and days inside rooms, starvation, all kinds of things, early morning beatings. There's so much online. It's been kind of kept quiet by the government, but more and more has been coming out over the decades. In 2017, it might have been earlier than that, but I read an article from 2017 talking about the mass grave, the pauper's grave, not far from here, where all of the children or the people that died here were buried there if they were unclaimed, and there were a lot. You know how it works with these things. These people are they're a lot of times abandoned here, just dumped off. And we're gonna go to that cemetery. Blue sky. There's a fireplace right there. This is probably a bathroom. This looks like it was all modernized as well. Group showers, yeah. It probably was group showers because I did read that the one guy that was stuck here for 16 years, he said there was zero privacy. Which is crazy. I mean, I don't know if you ever get used to that kind of thing. You just kind of submit to it. Now, obviously, there's not a whole lot left. This place has been ransacked and vandalized for many, many years now, since 2002. But the story is incredible. Actually, there's a nurse's ward. I think it was a part of the castle property, but there's another building off in the woods where the nurses lived, where they stayed. So we're gonna head there now. So this is where the nurses live. This is their housing. Can't show you inside because they obviously still care very much about this building for some reason. There's still cameras and power in there, so I cannot go inside to show you that. They clearly do not want people in there. And now I'm headed to the pauper's grave. I'm going to show you where all of those victims are buried. So just a couple miles away from the castle, in fact, actually you can see the castle from the top of this property by this old abandoned church. There's really not much here. There's a plaque here that commemorates them. Where their actual graves are, right here, this strip of land. It's really unknown how many people are buried here. Now there's actually all different bodies here, because for a while it was a maternity ward as well, so there were stillborns that were buried here, even people buried from some of the other asylums that were around, so not just from Lennox. But I don't know if they'll ever do any kind of excavation or anything like that. Maybe one day in many, many years to come. For now, it's just grass, and there's could be hundreds and hundreds of bodies under here, which isn't all that uncommon. Not at all, actually. But anyway, interesting story. That the very dark history of Scotland, unfortunately, somewhat of a common bit of history all over the world. But I'm getting back on the road. Hope you found this video interesting. See you in the next one.